Good morning, everybody. It is Martin coming to you live from the Sales Strategist Studios here in Melbourne, Australia. Wherever you are around the world, welcome to this live stream. Now, today, we're going to be talking about something that will be a little bit of fun. But before we get there, I haven't been on the Wednesday live stream for a few weeks. I've been absolutely busy with customers from around the world, United States, United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Australia, helping them with their sales budgets for the new financial year. Yes, we're in the brand new financial year, the 21-22 financial year. And so if you haven't started thinking about planning your sales budget, get it done. Get your sales process in place. Formulate the KPIs for yourself and your teams. Then you're missing a very important element. Also, I want to acknowledge my friends in Sydney at the moment. They're in COVID lockdown. We know what that's all about here in Melbourne town. But thoughts are with you guys. If you do nothing else with this time that you may have available, sales planning, sales budgets, that's the way forward. Now, today, I wanted to chat with you about this topic, which is what can we learn about sales process from Tinder? You know, one of the biggest things that I see in the myriad of businesses that I work with is a complete lack of sales process, a complete lack of logical next steps, a complete lack of clarity. Now, Tinder or internet dating in general is actually formed on a logical series of next steps. You know, when dating, if your only objective is to find a partner to be with you for the rest of your life, in every step of the process, you'll be projecting this whether you say it or not. And that's going to come across as needy. And needy is extremely unattractive in dating and in sales. And in sales, it's exactly the same. You know, if you're focusing on the sale from lead to sale, and there's not a logical series of next steps, then all you're relying on to advance your customer through your sales process is luck. And in dating and in sales, you don't want to rely on luck, peeps. You don't know what's going to spit out the other end. As a result, you end up, that was inappropriate. This is what's going to happen today. As a result, you end up, you may not get what you're expecting, right? And so let me just change the slide. And so what can Tinder teach us about the sales process? Well, it actually turns out quite a lot. Now, in dating, let's have a look at step number one. So step number one, in dating, before you even put a profile up, you're getting clear on what you're looking for, right? A potential life partner, a friend, a bit of fun, or a bit of fun, whichever it is that you're after. And in sales, what is your avatar? You know, this time of year, I'm working with many clients putting sales budgets into place who will be making up your sales budget in 21-22. What does the client avatar look like? How much will they spend? How many clients do you need? Clarity before you start is key. How many $20,000 customers do you need? It gives you an indication as to how you're going to be selecting them over the next journey. So step number one is get clear on what your motivations are, on what you're actually looking for. Step number two is intrigue. So on Tinder or internet dating sites, you're going to be putting up some photos, hopefully recent ones, nothing worse than false and misleading advertising, people. That's not what we do here at the Sales Strategist. And you're going to be writing a profile, right? You know, first contact in sales, by contrast, will be a website, an email, a phone call. You know, and it's all about not giving too much away. Create the intrigue. I would say 100% of the businesses that I work with, at least to start with, do not create intrigue. The emails are too long. They give away too much information. The phone calls are uninteresting. They're wanting, they're needy. If you're giving too much away in the initial phone conversation or in the initial email, why would someone pay attention to you? Your dating profiles are brief for a reason, peeps. It's all about the intrigue. And what happens next? Well, we get to swipe left or right. This is the first selection criteria. Do we like what we're seeing? No, swipe left. Do we like what we're seeing? Yes, swipe right. Okay, great. So we've swiped left or right. What's next? So what's next is the call. So once you've been on dating websites for a while, you'll go to the call. It's a phone call. So great, you're interested. So you have a potential suitor. So now you suggest the call. If they're open to it, they've just signaled they're interested too. And that's when this comes in. The sales, the 5-minute call. And I call it in sales, the 5-minute swipe right or swipe left. It's the 5-minute swipe. I deal with a bunch of businesses who have that many leads coming in. You can't possibly do the old clunky sales process where you talk to someone for 20 minutes. But if you get your sales process right and ask the right questions, status tip-offs, language that positions you as the prize, after 5 minutes, you're going to be able to position to swipe left or swipe right. And then they're into the next step. Swipe left, swipe right. You guessed it. That's the logical next step. Okay, what's next? So now you have had a look at the profile, you've had a phone conversation, now you advance to the coffee date. So the coffee date is when you get to know a little bit more about the person, a little bit more about who you're going to be talking to. And it's generally a 15 to 20-minute catch-up. You're matching up the profile to the person to see if there's chemistry, to see if you're on the right page. And in sales, it's the 15 to 20-minute pitch. In this pitch, it's where you drill down on the client's pain point or problem and develop certainty in the client's mind that their issue is no big issue for you. You've seen it hundreds or thousands of times before, just like you. This is simple. So their pain point, their problem is simple. The message you're communicating is you have status. You're in high demand. You're choosy. Thinking about that in the dating world, I probably wouldn't mention that you're in high demand. It might come across as, as a little bit of a big noter. So maybe in the dating world, you'd put out the, hey, look, I'm in high demand. But maybe you would. Depends on what your personality type is, I guess. And what's the next step? You guessed it. Swipe left, swipe right. Can you see what's going on here from a sales perspective, people? Swiping left and swiping right on a potential suitor in the dating industry, which I guess it is an industry, or if it's a potential customer, is quite okay. As soon as you figure out they're not going to be a right fit for your business, it's a matter of swiping. So what's next? What's next is the dinner date. So you get dressed up to the nines, you go to a restaurant, you're committed to the process so far, and now you're just seeing, hey, look, does it feel good? And from a sales perspective, now you're in the full pitch, or maybe you're actually delivering the proposal. And if you're unveiling the investment proposal, this is where most companies absolutely stuff it up. If you're unveiling a proposal, you want to unveil a proposal in person or on Zoom. That's a logical next step. That's a commitment that they've made. If you've made the commitment to put a pricing proposal together and put that investment, then the logical next step for the customer or the dinner date is to turn up for a date so that they can show you can show them the unveiling process. After the dinner date, what happens next? You're swiping to right yet again. And then you're into the second date. Or from a sales perspective, this is where the final check and balance is. You're nearly there. The person in front of you has got you interested. But now's when you set the expectations. And from a client's perspective, from a sales perspective, this is when you do the onboarding. This is when you're setting the sales process, the expectations, the logical series of next steps. So setting clearly the intentions at the start, what the ground rules are going to be, is essential because that way there's going to be no missteps. There's going to be no miscommunication as you go through the process. And then again, you get to swipe left or right, and then it becomes a match. And you have a customer, and you have a happy customer, and hopefully you have a happy customer for as a period of time. So, guys, that's my take on what can Tinder teach us about the dating. What can Tinder teach us about the sales process? That it's a process. that it's a logical series of next steps, that it's okay to swipe left or to swipe right at any stage in the process if the person you're talking to or the client is not going to be a good fit for you. So have a great Wednesday. Catch you all soon and see you next week. Ciao for now.